getting in? You guys have to get delayed or have trouble getting here?
No. We just decided to leave this morning just because we were chartering, and there was bad weather in Dallas-Fort Worth all day yesterday. So had we wanted to come yesterday, I don't think we could have. But it was a 48-minute charter. We travel on, like every other college team, you travel on Thursdays, so we're close enough to get here today.
All this talk about how did you get in, I think maybe that motivates your guys, because I watched all of these workouts. Your team had more energy than any of them.
Yeah, I mean, we pride ourselves in having good energy. We're excited to be here. Beautiful ballpark, beautiful day. But, certainly, you can't hide from that stuff. And, if you need more motivation to win a regional in this environment, you must be a pretty unmotivated player. But yeah, I mean, we sure would like to prove them right, or prove the committee right. But we feel like we deserve to be here, and hopefully our play will do the talking for us.
You mentioned Baum-Walker Stadium. Your thoughts on the facilities here in Fayetteville?
Yeah, they're amazing. This is my first time here. Last time I was in Fayetteville was the summer of 1994, sitting next to Coach DeBryan at an American Legion tournament at the old field when I was an assistant coach at Tulane. So I've obviously seen it on television, and Coach Van Horn's been a friend of mine for a long time. One of my former players was here a couple years ago as a coach, Josh Elander. So this is awesome. It's awesome for college baseball. We're getting ready to do either a brand new stadium or a major renovation in Fort Worth here in the next couple years. So I'm glad our administration and some pretty high-end donors are going to be here as well to see what the best of the best looks like.
It's Kyle Peterson. You assume he knows baseball pretty well. He said he was surprised you guys got in. He thought TCU was surprised. You said you thought you deserved to get in. Were you surprised you got in?
Well, I mean, I think the teams from 64 to 70 all feel like they deserve to get in. Houston deserved to get in. BYU deserved to get in. Missouri probably deserved to get in. But it's a 64-team field, and so I think that I think they looked beyond metrics. You have a former coach on the committee in Coach Tanner, who I think looks at it from a baseball standpoint. I'm not saying he had the deciding vote, but he's certainly a voice. And Kyle's right, and he's right in terms of people didn't expect us to get in. He's wrong in terms of the standpoint that we felt like we were firmly on the bubble, but I felt like we had a chance. The number 2 RPI league in the country since 2011, whether that be the ACC, the SEC, or the Big 12, has always got at least 5 teams in. So my hope was that our league, the Big 12 is really strong, and our RPI, you can manipulate that however you want. And we played 3 games against Long Beach State, and 3 years ago, the day that I scheduled them, they were a super regional team, 14th in the RPI. And so I think a coach's intended strength of schedule in the part of the schedule that he can control should be a part of the thought process too. If you have Rice scheduled and they're traditionally a great program and they have a bad season, then I don't think that should be held against you too much.
You look at playing Cal, and they've got Andrew Vaughn, reigning Golden Spikes Award winner.
Yeah.
When you look at them, what challenges do they bring tomorrow?
I mean, certainly a real offensive team. I mean, a lot of home runs and a lot of good right-handed hitters and a couple of really good left-handed hitters. And I'm assuming Jared Horn is pitching, very talented pitcher. They have a big, good lefty out of the bullpen that gives everybody fits that they kind of use in a lot of different roles. But the bottom line to Vaughn is you just have to make sure he's hitting with nobody on base, especially in this park, because he's obviously has the ability to change the game with one swing. You have to pitch to the guys in front of him and the guys behind him, and hope he doesn't do too much damage.
Who are you starting tomorrow?
We're going to start Brandon Williamson, junior left-handed pitcher for us, he's been pitching awesome. He's going to be a really high draft pick, and we feel like he's the best guy to throw tomorrow, and then for the rest of the tournament, if we're fortunate enough to stay around, to shake things up to give us the best chance to win the tournament.
What impresses you about Vaughn as a hitter?
I mean, you look at the number, anytime you combine plate discipline and power, that's a scary combination. So I think he has like 58 walks and 20-something strikeouts. And then, big extra base hitter and uses the whole field to hit. So he's obviously a guy that's going to move quick to the big leagues and doesn't have too many holes. Now, if we execute pitches, then, an executed pitch beats a good hitter just about every time. But the problem is when you make mistakes or leave balls over the plate, he's going to do a lot of damage.
Dave said he knows you. Dave Van Horn says he knows you pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of Dave and just kind of where he fits in college coaching?
I mean, well, he's obviously a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, the thing I love about Coach Van Horn is he's not a, how would you say this? He's built a career. Like, he's coached in junior college. He's coached at Central Missouri, right?
D2,
Division II, and then done an unbelievable job at Nebraska. My last year as an assistant in 2001, we eliminated Nebraska at Tulane in the College World Series, and Omaha was quite different then with Nebraska in the field. So, I just love how he's built his career, and a facility like this, a program like this, he's earned it. And so I have tremendous amount of respect for that. And it's not like he's spoon-fed something and handed something that, nowadays you have, not that assistant coaches don't deserve it, but you have assistant coaches who have never been head coaches getting jobs in SEC Big 12 schools, which is great for them. But I'm an old-fashioned guy in that you need to earn that right, and he's more than earned it, and I'm hoping my career can follow his at some point.
You talked about Norm. I mean, he got this stadium built, but it would look a lot different. There didn't have nearly as many skyboxes and seats. So Norm obviously built the program literally from nothing into a really good program. And then Dave's really taken it to another level.
Sure. And I'm sure I saw his picture out front. I'm sure Coach Van Horn recognizes that. And we're all a product of somebody else. Lance Brown was the coach before me at TCU, and back in those days, there wasn't a commitment to baseball even for Coach DeBryan like there was for Coach Van Horn here, and like there is for me at TCU. And so those guys had to do a lot more with a lot less. And now, places like this and TCU, we have a lot of advantages that those coaches didn't have. So I'm sure Coach Van Horn recognizes that in Coach DeBryan.
Is there anything like about Dave's style? Because he's had just like you, he's had multiple World Series trips. For this year, he had to replace 2 starting pitchers, a bunch of position guys, and we don't know what's going to happen now. But he's a number 5 seed again, just like he was last year.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows you what kind of great coach he is, what kind of great staff he has. Thompson and Matt Hobbs, those guys are great coaches. They hustle, and when you play in this environment and you put an Arkansas jersey on, I mean, it makes you feel a little bit better about yourself, and you're going to play up to that. There's certainly a lot of expectation too, and that's the thing that I admire about Coach Van Horn or Augie Garrido or those kind of guys, is because there's a lot of pressure that comes along with playing here. And on a smaller level at TCU, 4 College World Series in a row, 5 of the last 9, our players feel the weight of that too. And so a coach's job sometimes is to try and protect them from that. And he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's as good as there is in our business, and he's awesome.